Welcome to Mindful Reader. Let's do a run through of using the product. So this app, at the initial install, you have this introduction where you're able to go through an onboarding workflow for the first time. You can see here a brief intro and then going into adding your AI key. You don't have to, you can skip. I'm going to pause the video and just pop in my my key here so we can actually see some of the AI features as well. So I've added my Claude key, and now the next screen is showing me an opportunity to choose some initial categories. You don't have to go through with these. You can certainly go through the process and add your own, as you can see here. But let's just add a couple in just for the purposes of the demonstration. So I'm going to go perhaps with meditation and mindfulness, and let's go with intentional living, and let's go with wellness and self-care. It's suggesting some feeds. It's going to try and find some now. It's going to do a search from its knowledge and try and find some initial ones. So we can choose from these. Let's just pick one of these here, this one, and let's go to the next category. It's going to try and find some feeds for this one. And this is just a way to get started quickly. You certainly don't need to go through this. You can skip and just go and configure these feeds yourself, and you'll probably want to review that as well. But let's just pick just some examples. Let's just do one more for wellness and self-care. I'm just picking another one here as well. And let's go with mind, body, green. So this is the main page of the Mindful Reader. You can see here, this is your read page. A little introduction, shows the date, and it shows you 3 articles to read. If you're looking here, you can see, gives you a bit of an idea of what the feed is from, a category that it's in, and also the date of this particular article. You can see this one's highlighted in this color just because it's showing that it's an older article. And of course, this is obviously this blog mustn't have produced any more recent articles. So there's a hover over, it shows you can read there. You see that there's a feeds page and there's an insights page as well. If we jump across to the feeds page here, just clicking across, you can see that it has the categories and it lists the feeds underneath. If I wanted to, for example, with the meditation and mindfulness, add a new feed in, I can click feed. It allows me to either put in the blog name. If you have your AI key set up, you can put in a blog name. If you know the exact URL of the domain, though, of course, you can put that in, and you don't need the AI key to do a search for the RSS feed from that. And you can select some of these suggestions. So for example, if I wanted to put in this one here, I can click it and then it's going to go and add that for me. You see a little hovering here, you can actually see the URL for that feed as well. So just nicely tucked away there. You can also add a new category. So if I wanted a category, for example, let's say it's technology, I can go ahead and add that. And with that, I can now add some feeds as well. So again, I can put in something myself manually here, or it's going to try and find some suggestions for me to recommend. So we give it a second and let's see if it comes back with anything. Okay, let's go ahead with the Hacker News. And again, you can see, it gives you an idea of where that feed's coming from. So I just clicked on that, and you can see that actually would open up the page as well to take you to it if you wanted to confirm. You can star a category. So for example, if you always want to see every day feeds from articles from this one, you can star up to 3 sort of as defaults. You have the option to remove a feed as well. Quite easily you can remove. And there's also a notes section, and the notes section is typically relevant to just giving you a way where you can track some information about articles that you read. Generally, I would use the notes from the actual article itself. You'll notice that if you're looking down the bottom here, there is an underline after some of these. You can, instead of using the mouse, you can also jump across by using the shortcut keys. So that was an A for this one. For feeds, it's E, and then for insights, it's I. There won't be any insights currently because we haven't done any reading, but this will populate as you go forward, and you can see some screenshots. If you look at the products page, you'll see some screenshots of what this insights typically looks like. Let's go back to read. So I'm going to go ahead and use the keyboard shortcut for a while. Here, if I hit the R, So you can see here there's an R. If I hit R, it's going to take me straight away to the next article, so the first article that's showing on the page. So I hit R, and then it's going to bring that in. So it's just a nice little reading option there. You can see that it shows nice and easy to read. This is a long article, so if you want to, you could also hit this summarize, and again you can use the keyboard shortcut. So let me press S on this one, and it's going to use the AI key that I connected with Claude to do a summary of this. So I can see a summary of this article, and then from there, if I just want to have a quick read through that and I think this sounds really interesting, I might go ahead and then read the full article. You can see also there's this one here to open the original. So if you click that, it's going to open up in a browser. If I scroll down to the bottom, you can see there's an option to put a thought. So say, for example, as I'm reading through this, maybe I think this is really interesting. I can hit keyboard shortcut T, and it'll take me right there, and I can put in some text and store as a thought. Rather than typing, if there's something I just simply want to highlight to, let's take this as an example. If I was wanting to highlight this bit here, I can go ahead and save that, and that's going to automatically populate down the bottom and store it with this, with a little bit of an insight into why I found this interesting to read, or something that I want to recall. You can also go ahead and just highlight something here, and you could then hit the copy. That'll just copy it to the clipboard in case you want to paste it somewhere else. Just back to the top here, if I go ahead, you can see this share option. Now this is just really here in case you want to copy some content. So for example, if you hit the share, it just allows you to add something. Basically it's going to include a link to the article and the title and your thought. You would pop something in here and then copy it to clipboard, and then if you want to, you can share it somewhere else. So the idea of the Mindful Reader is that it's not intended to integrate with other services. It's meant to be there just with these extra little bonus sort of features in case you want to actually be able to, say, share something about an article in an email, or perhaps on a social media. You can do that as well. So just some little helpful features there to speed up that flow. Now at the end of this article, after I've had a read, if I decide to, I would hit finished here, and again I can use the shortcut key F. If I click finished, it's going to ask me for what did I think of this article. Did it have an impact? Did it shift my perspective? You know, how did it work? So in this one here, perhaps it was mild, interesting but forgettable. I can go ahead and click this one, and again 1, 2, 3, 4, you can see the little underline there, or you can also just simply skip if you want to. And then basically it goes through and allows you to see up to 3 at a time. And as you go through, if I was to, let's speed through this, if I hit R and F to finish, let's say this one here didn't resonate at all, I'll go with if I get R, here I could read this one. You can see that the feed's not able to pull in the content, so that's how that particular site is releasing their information for their blogs. So I would have to go ahead and read it on the web. So I can do that too. So let's go with finished on this one. And let's say after reading it, I found that it was moderate. You can see here now, nice and clean. I don't see all the articles that are backlogged. I can choose whether or not to continue, or I can just go ahead and come back later if I want to, or the next day. So let's say I want to read more. I'd go ahead and press the M there, or the keyboard, and it'll bring me up another 3 articles to go through. You see if I click across the insights, I'll press I now. It takes me through, and you can see that it's giving me a little bit of information. And again, recommend to look at the screenshots to get a bit of an idea of what it looks like as you're going through. If I go ahead to feeds, so I press E, you can see that's giving me a little bit of information about the feeds too. And if I was to scroll down here, and I want to say, for example, see that note, so it's nicely tucked away here, it gives me a note. So as I'm reading some of these articles, I could read the notes at any point in time, and also I can then also decide to get a bit of a summary. So if I have a few notes here, I can use the AI to give me a summary of those notes. So that's a little bit of a brief intro into Mindful Reader. Intention here is to take away the distraction of many articles that are needed to be read, surface as you want to go through at your speed, also giving you some quick little productivity tips if you want to speed through and read quicker, using the shortcut the keys. But also just tucked away down the bottom here, you can see the little settings. This is where you would go ahead and configure if you wanted to change between the AI providers, or choose a different model depending on the results it's giving you. For example, with AI Summarize, you can also export it back up and import it back up at any time as well. And so that's Mindful Reader. Would love to know how you find it, and if it helps you to mindfully consume content at your own pace and in a relaxed way. Thank you for your time.